You're not live?
Yeah.
Babe, put on my face.
I'm rolling on your wheel now. I'm drinking Hennessy now. I hope you see now. Say you don't bust my eyeglass. You don't scar the my glass. See my eye, I don't brush. You put me for ambulance. See why you make me bitch. See why you make me big. See why you think to me. God save me, please. I know you got me now. I know you got me now.
Good evening, everyone. My name is DJ Cypha, and you're welcome to Make Music Lagos 2020 Learn to DJ. So today I'll be teaching you how to DJ. I'll be giving you a crash course on DJing. We all know that it's not possible for you to learn DJing in one day, but the idea of this is to stop that interest, to jumpstart you on the course of becoming a DJ. So first of all, let's go straight. I'll go straight into the lectures, then later on I'll entertain questions and all that. So first of all, who is a DJ? We define a DJ, first of all, is known as a disc jockey, someone who manipulates music that is in a pre-recorded format in a seamless way. So that means we're talking about not live music, but music that has already been recorded. So, and as a DJ, one other major thing is that you're matching your musical expression and experience with the desires and expectations of an audience. So at all times, you have to give your best. Then there are basically 4 types of DJs. You have the club DJs, you have the mobile DJs, you have the radio DJs, you have the turntablist stroke performers. So for the club DJs, these are DJs who play in the clubs, move around all the clubs. Mobile DJs are DJs who play events like weddings, birthdays. So most of the times, along with their DJ services, they also provide public address system services. Then you have radio DJs who play music for us on the radio and all that. Then you have the turntablists who perform. They cut up songs, they scratch, they do a lot of stuff, manipulate the music in a way that you can see that it's quite a performance. That's what you call the performance DJs. So then you now talk about reasons for DJing. Most of us DJs, or any intending to be DJ, must have a reason for becoming a DJ. First of all, let me also say that you don't owe anybody an explanation to why you're going to be a DJ. But for most people, it's either one of these 3 reasons. First, income. Secondly, for the love. And third, for fame or recognition. It might be all 3, it might be 1, it might be 2. Whichever way or whichever reason you're becoming a DJ is totally fine. So, let's go into DJing. In order for you to DJ, you need 2 sources of sound and a mixer. What I mean by 2 sources of sound is so that you can move from one song seamlessly to another one. So if someone is dancing, for example, they don't have to shift or stop while the song moves from one place to the other. And to do that, you need 2 sources and you need a mixer. A mixer is the one that's going to let you move from one song to the other or mix 2 sounds at the same time. So we have different kinds of sources. We have the CDJ, who plays CD. It's like a CD player, but is modified for use for DJs. You have vinyl, which is turntables. You have CDs. You have MP3. So any of these can be used as a source. You understand? Any of these can be used as a source. Then we're now going to mixers. Mixers is what you use to mix from one source to the other. There are different kinds of mixers. There's the studio mixer, which might have a lot of channels, and of course you have the DJ mixer. The difference between the studio mixer and a DJ mixer is the crossfader. I think later on when I'm showing you the features of the mixer, I'll show you what a crossfader is. But the difference between a studio mixer and a DJ mixer is the crossfader. So then you now talk about the features. Okay, let's talk about when you're talking about a mixer, what you mean by a channel. So please come, let me see this. Like this is a controller, but this is the mixer section of the mixer section of the controller. So when you talk about channels, this controller now has 4 channels, meaning 1, 2, 3, and 4. It can control 4 sources of music at once. There are some that 6 channels, 2 channels, 3 channels, and so on and so forth. This is a crossfader. That is the difference between a studio mixer and a DJ mixer. The crossfader is what makes it different. So for example, when you're talking about a channel, this is channel 3, as you can see. Everything on this channel, all the whole controls on this channel only affects the music coming through this channel. It doesn't affect music coming from the master to the master or from other channels. So if, for example, these are the frequency knobs, I reduce the high, it's only on this channel that the frequency will be reduced. The one playing on this one will not be reduced, and so on. And if I increase the volume here, it's only on this that the volume will be increased, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is about the channel mixer. On the mixer section, you have the different parts. You have the channels. You have the channel. On each channel, you have the equalizers. The equalizers let you cut or increase certain frequencies in the song. Like if a song is playing, for example, and you want to increase the low end. Let me play a song and show you what I mean by the low end. As you can see, as I was manipulating the low end, the heavy part of the song was reducing and increasing. Let me show you what the mid is. So you understand, and the high, and so on and so forth. So on each channel, it has a meter. This meter is to allow you know when you've gotten to the peak level of the volume that is allowed on that mixer. For this spectrum, you are allowed to go into the yellow parts. The red parts means that your sound is distorting. So once it distorts from the channel, even to the master is going to be distorted. Okay, so on a mixer, you have different knobs. I'll be showing you all the knobs as time goes on. Okay, so now let's talk about music source. When you're talking about music source, you can have CDJs, you can have turntables, or you can have controllers. Back then, there used to be only turntables, but with the advent of technology and everything has started becoming easier. You don't have to carry heavy turntables and records and everything. Then since music became digitized, so you can always just have your songs in MP3 format and use on controllers like this. So for example, the major thing that is common in all music sources that are utilized for DJ use is there are three major things that are there. This is one, the tempo fader. This allows you to be able to manipulate the song, the speed of the song, so that you can mix. Then the play button. Some turntables you will not see cue. Cue means to get something ready. So when you say cue a song, it means get the song ready, be on cue. So like you want a song to start at a specific point. So if you want a song to start at a specific point, that specific point you want it to start is known as the cue point. So for the most important thing in any player that he must have is, first of all, the tempo fader, or you call it the pitch fader. This is it. So when you bring it down, it increases the pitch. When you take it up, it reduces the pitch. So this is the pitch fader, then play button. Once you have these two, any equipment at all that has these two is suitable for a DJ. That means you can manipulate the music to be able to play out. Okay, so like I said, this is the tempo fader, this is the play button. But on this one now, you have a jog wheel. This jog wheel can either be used for bending. Bending means, like, if you're playing two songs and one is slightly behind and you want it to catch up with the other one, then you bend by pulling on the sides like this. Then of course it can also be used for scratching. That is what this is for. Okay, so now let's talk about the evolution of DJing, so you have an idea of DJing. Basically started from radio, when people, the radio DJs back then, wanted to have a seamless experience, mixing from one song to the other. So they now said, okay, how can we do it? Then they started noticing that the songs have different characteristics, like the speed. So they say, if this song is almost the same as this one, there's a way we can use it to match up, and we'll move from one song to the other and nobody understands that we moved from the song. They keep on dancing. That's how they started doing. But then they were using vinyl. So while they were using vinyl, then that means you have to have all the vinyls that you're going to use for that day. You must have been really cumbersome, because you have to pack all the vinyls. You have to have someone who is going to be following you, selecting. After you finished playing, someone else will be cleaning and putting back in the crates and all that. So then after then, we moved to CDJs. That was when music started getting digitalized. Then we will have music on CDs. Then we had CDJs. Then when music started going into MP3 again, we now brought controllers. Controllers help you manipulate the song, just as if you're using a turntable, but the songs are on your system, but you're manipulating it. It's like a virtual experience. So, and there are different DJ softwares for you to be able to use controllers, and some even without controllers, just directly from your system. You have Virtual DJ, you have Serato, you have Record Box, you have Tractor. Those are the major ones. We have some other smaller or less popular DJ softwares like DJ Pro Mix, Cross Vibes, Cross DJ, and all that. So now let's move to beat matching, how to mix. The longest curve in learning to DJ is beat matching, and that's the hardest thing to learn. Beat matching means you match the first beat with the second one, so you can move from the first song to the second song. But before then, you must think about music theory. Music theory is what is in a song that makes you able to manipulate it. First of all, songs are recorded, or beats are recorded in fours, so you can always count 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then every song has a speed. You understand? And that speed of songs are measured in beats per minute. So a song that has 100 beats per minute is the same speed as another song that has 100 beats per minute. So without manipulation, you can actually mix from a song that has 100 beats per minute, to another one that has 100 beats per minute. So, but the hardest thing is getting to be able to calculate your BPM, that's beats per minute. So, but first of all, let's go back to this music theory that I said. So every song you can think about, no matter how fast, is made up of beats in progressions of fours. For example, let me play a song for you, then we count together. Okay, so now count. So you understand. So all the songs, let me play a very fast song or a faster song. So this one is definitely faster than that one. But see, I'm still going to count. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you you understand, there's the 4 beats count. So in order to mix one song to the other, you want the first beat of this one to be on the first beat of the second one, so that they move in sync. And that is where you now have to have ear-to-hand coordination. First of all, you set your song, or you cue your song on the cue point where you want the song to start from, so that immediately you press play. Like for example, immediately I press play, starting from the first beat, just like that. So you want to have that on this side. Let me look for another song. So for example, this is playing, and I want to mix from this one to the other song. So I must think of a way. I'm going to count this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and press play on the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how it is. So in order to get that, I must practice a lot to make sure that by the time I'm pressing 1, I'm not missing out any time. My hand is coming down exactly at 1. Then let's talk about BPM calculation. If a song, you must know how to calculate BPM, although right now we have a lot of softwares who can do that for you. But you should know that, okay, if you think about it, a song that is 120 and you want to make the song 130 to be able to mix in with another song, what percentage are you going to increase it? Because this tempo is not numbers, it's in percentage. So when you think about it, you say 1% of a song is 120. For every 1% that you add, that means 120 divided by 100, that's 1.2. So every 1% you add to that song, you're adding 1.2. So you think about the difference between 120 and 130. The difference is 8. It's 10. The difference is 10. Then you say 10 divided by 1.2 is 8. So immediately you know that if you add 8% to a song that is 120, you're going to get 130. That's like the hardest part of DJing. Once you get that, you have learned the calculation. Once you get that, and as a good DJ, every song that you have, you should know the BPM of the song. As you know the title, you should always know the BPM. So once you get that, you know that, okay, if I add this one, so if at a point you go anywhere and they don't have software that can do that for you, or you go to somewhere they're playing vinyl, you can always just match up or catch up. So this is still Make Music Lagos 2020 Learn to DJ. I hope you have. Please, if anybody has any questions, please just send your questions. I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. Most of all this I'm telling you is not something we can cover in a day, but I'm just giving it. This is like a crash course so that you can understand. Then from then you can decide if you want to learn. Most of all the topics I'm talking about deserve a lecture on its own. Then let's go to types of mixing or transition. You know, because like you are moving from the movement from one song to the other is called a transition. There are different kinds of transitions. There's the blending, there's the loop in. When you are talking about blending, you can decide to loop in and loop out. You can decide to use the free beat in front of a song and not just press play. Then we'll now go to loop. What does a loop mean? A loop, as just straightforward, what it means is when something goes round and round. For example, let me give you a 4-beat loop of this song. So you understand, that is a 4-beat loop. So like if in your styles of mixing or transition, you might decide, okay, you want to blend in, for example. So this is playing. So as this is looping, you want to play the other song and just blend the other song in. So you just count, you still maintain your count every time. That's why sometimes when you see DJs are playing, they're tapping their leg, they're counting. It has already become like part of us. We are counting, no matter what we're doing, we're counting. So like, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is it. From now, I've moved from this one to this one. Okay. So there are different kinds of transitions. You can have the cutting. Cutting is just moving from one song to the other. Sometimes when you want to make BPM jumps, like you might see you're playing a party and the party is not getting where you want it to be, so you want to switch up things. You don't want to go gradually, you want to go from that point to another one. You can do what they call, some call it cutting, some call it slamming, some call it a drop. Let me look for a song that is not so fast, then another one that is way faster than it, that the BPMs cannot match normally, then show you what a drop means. Okay, so this song is like 124 BPM, beats per minute, and the next song I want to play, is 140. There's no way, it's totally impossible for me to be able to mix those two songs together because the BPM range is too much. But one thing, when you are dropping, you have to count. Let me 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Allergy.
But you see, most of the times, drops are good when you are jumping up or you're on the same tempo. If you are dropping tempo and you drop, you might have some effects. You might kill the dance floor. Okay, then of course you have scratch and drop. Like you have the scratch to mix in. This is not beginner, this is intermediate. So you have the other song that you want to play in, but you want to scratch and drop it, or you want to scratch. So this is it. Okay, so then even under that again, you have the scratch and drop for blend, which is just like this.
This is a go. 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 Malosu, this is a go. How much you want better? This is a go. But don't pass it, but this is a go. The way match is a go. Refitica is a go.
Like when it comes to mixing styles, transition styles, that's a whole topic on its own. Because there are a lot of different styles you can use. This is where your own creativity comes to play. Like when they're talking about DJing, they say DJing is an art and a craft. But for you to totally be able to express the art, you must be able to learn the craft. The craft is learning how to DJ well. And it's a hands-on approach. It's not something it's something you learn by practicing every time. This is what you have to keep on. It's like a very, very repetitive process, because like if you are the first step, if they say trying to gain ear to hand coordination, so that means you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4 and pressing on the 1. You have to keep on doing that till you get that step. It's like you have to move from one step to the other. If once you jump one step, you're going to have problems. That's why sometimes you see that some people have issues because they jump some certain steps. They have to go back to learn that step. But once you take it step by step, you notice that you're going from the first step till you become a guru. So right now, I think I'll just entertain questions and go through all the questions that you people are asking. This is still Learn to DJ by Make Music Lagos 2020, the first virtual edition. We really hoped that it would have been a hands-on experience where we can be somewhere and people come around and we can show them and they can try their hands on the different mixers that we'll have put out and everything. you know, because like I said, it's a very wide topic. It's a very wide topic, but we just have to compress everything. So if you are interested in DJing, at least you have an idea of what it takes now. It's very easy, it's very simple. It has become more easier with the advent of technology. Things have become really easier. Just look for someone who can mentor you, and probably, if I might continue, or I might expand this series and make sure that I continue to drop videos where you can learn how to DJ. Shout out to everyone that's tuned in. Thank you. Okay, so like my own software of choice is Serato, which is also the software of choice for a lot of people in Nigeria. That I cannot start telling you, is a very wide topic again. If you want to learn how to use Serato, I'll just say download the software, read the manual, then from there you will understand a lot of things about it. If you want to learn how to scratch, okay, then another thing, basically I'm mostly self-taught. A lot of things that I know I learned by going online and researching and practice. Then a few other DJs also mentored me. Like when I see what they do and I like, I'll say, can you teach me? So that is it. You have to just take the first step and decide to learn. Okay, someone asked that do I memorize songs? Yes, sometimes I do memorize songs. Yes, because song selection of right songs is key. Well, this comes with experience and being able to read a room. If I'm going to a party, most of the times I don't have like a set play or a set number of songs I want to play and how I want to play them. I just know that I have an idea of the songs that are hot right now and I go. So once I get there, I'll sample. While I'm playing the songs that are hot right now, in between them, I'll sample other songs to be able to know the kind of crowd that I'm playing for. Once I see that, okay, these people, they look like people who were born in the 80s, so they should know a lot of 2000s. I sample a few 2000s and I see the reception. If the reception is okay, I know, yes, I can swing that way. I sample a little bit of 90s, I check out the reception. So in the end, as I'm doing that, I'm building my set, I'm already thinking, okay, since they know this song, they should know this one, and I freestyle from there. But that's like a personal choice. Some other people who go to events already do a lot of research and know exactly what they want and just go with a fixed set. It's also very okay. Okay, so I don't think that I've not seen any new questions, so I think I'll call it a day here. Thank you very much. I hope you learned a thing or two. And although it's like I said at the beginning, it's a crash course. This is just to motivate you to take up DJing. DJing is fun. DJing is nice. I've met a lot of people through DJing. I've achieved a lot through DJing. So thank you very much for tuning in. This is Make Music Lagos 2020 Learn to DJ. Since when have you been DJing? I've been DJing for almost 20 years now. Okay, so what's the difference between a controller and a CDJ? A controller emulates a CDJ or emulates, a controller emulates a CDJ, while a CDJ tries to emulate a turntable. So you can, like with a CDJ, you have to have physical CDs that you put in and play, remove, and play. But with a controller, your music stays on your laptop and you just manipulate from here exactly how you do in a CDJ. That's why most of the controllers now are styled to look like CDJs.
What I want, your boy yeah, confuse me. Tell me why you dey confuse me, oh baby. Your body too attractive, and the way I fall for you, it be like magic. No, the way you take me, I go day, and I no go fit to come another day. But I go to call you my baby, and together we go there, we no go fade away. Why you say that you in my mind? Say you no be option, no be lie. Oh yeah, make it run away, make it fly away. Oh no. Why you say that you in my mind? Say you no be option, no be lie. Oh yeah, make it fly away, make it run away. Come on, you call me. Just say I go pull up on you. Just say I go call me.
You say what are the attributes a professional DJ should have? First of all, since you said professionalism, there are a lot of traits for a professional DJ to have. The first one is being professionalism. You should be mature in your dealings. You should be open to learning. Never stop learning, because that's like one thing I always do. I never stop learning. Once you believe that you know all, at that point you stop learning. But once you believe there's still opportunity for you, there's still room for improvement, you always learn to listen to criticisms. When someone tells you your set was not great tonight, you'll be able to ask that why, what happened, how come, not instead of telling the person he's a hater, he doesn't like me. So I think being professional about what you do.
Calling me the sugar and they are tea. Calling me the honey when they are bee. Anything you tell me, I make believe. Calling me the sugar and they are tea. 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 Calling me the honey when they are bee. Anything you tell me, I make believe. Showing me around like I lost my way. Telling all your friends and I meet me bail. Baby, see me, I don't make believe. Tell me, make I know now. Show me, make I know now.
Okay, thank you guys for hanging out with me and listening to me teach you how to DJ. It's been a wonderful experience. Thank you to Make Music Lagos. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you at the online party. Make sure you keep a date. Thank you.
Don't say you need me, I take this love more seriously, Baby, you're making up baby, Nobody talks, say you love me,